everyone, and welcome to Journey with the Kellers. My name is Amanda Keller, and today we are back in the Keller kitchen. So today, not me, but actually my daughter is going to be making something from the Blue Bloods cookbook. Today's recipe is buttermilk biscuits. Now, since it is her that's making them and she doesn't actually want to be on camera, this is basically just recording of her making, her hands basically making them, and then I will be voicing over what she's doing so you guys have the instructions. Okay, so here's my daughter making the buttermilk biscuits, and I'll be back at the end to see how they turned out and give them a try. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, you guys, so first of all, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Now, we are making a double batch, so you're going to see more going into the bowl than what I'm saying. For one batch, this is supposed to serve 6, so it's supposed to make about 6 biscuits. So first, you're going to add to a large bowl 2 cups of flour, which you can see she's doing here, but of course, she added 4 instead of 2 for the double batch. Then you're going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar, which of course she's adding 4 teaspoons of sugar. And then add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, which of course for the double batch, she is going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And then a half a teaspoon of salt. Once you have all of your ingredients in there, you're going to go ahead and whisk this together real well. Make sure it's completely combined up. Once you've got that all mixed up, you're going to take 10 tablespoons or 1 stick plus 2 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter. You're going to cube it up, and then you're going to add it into the flour mixture. And you can either use like a fork or a pastry cutter, or like 2 knives, slicing them together. And you're basically just going to cut them into the flour mixture so that you get kind of like a coarse meal type looking flour, okay? So this is her cutting up the butter into the flour. Now, I told her butter knives, but she grabbed 2 steak knives, but that works, you know, so just kind of rub them right next to each other, kind of crossing each other, the knives, so that it kind of cuts through the butter and mixes it into the flour. Now, if the knives aren't working good enough, you can also just use your hands and kind of crumble it into the flour. You're just wanting it to get mixed in there. You're not going to be forming a dough yet. You just want it to be mixed in, and that's it. So once you've got it all done, you're just going to kind of get like this kind of a mealy looking or a coarse meal looking flour substance. So there'll be little lumps of butter in there with the, flour basically coating it. So it'll be like little balls and stuff all over. Okay, so then you're going to add 1 cup of buttermilk to the flour mixture, but you're going to add it 1 tablespoon at a time. And then after each tablespoon addition, you're going to mix it up with a fork, or, she tried to use a whisk at first, but I guess she read it was a fork. And so you're going to keep doing that, adding it in 1 tablespoon at a time until all of the buttermilk has been absorbed. And you can use your hands as well to kind of form it into a ball, okay, to get it nice and worked in. Just don't overwork the dough. You basically just want to get it so that all the buttermilk is absorbed in there, and that's it. Okay, so once you get all of the buttermilk mixed in, you're going to get kind of a little bit of a gooey dough. It's going to look wet, but it will be a dough. And like I said, just make sure you don't overwork it. You're going to need a sheet pan. It doesn't say to place anything on the sheet pan. It doesn't say to grease it or put parchment paper or anything on it, but we do put parchment paper on ours just because then we feel like it won't stick as much, okay? So then to form the biscuits, all you're going to do is just divide the dough into 6 equal balls. And you're just going to take those and kind of squish and shape the balls until they make thick rounds. You want them to be about 2.5 inches in diameter, okay? And then you're just going to place those on the baking sheet, and you just want to space them evenly apart. Like I said, this should make about 6 biscuits. So you should be able to fit 6 biscuits on one sheet pan. Since we're making a double batch, it's going to take 2 sheet pans. And here they all are formed and ready to go into the oven. Okay, you guys, so you're going to bake your biscuits at 375 degrees for about 25 minutes. The top should be a light golden brown, and you can insert a toothpick into the center of the biscuit if it comes out clean that it's done. Once they're done, transfer them to a wire rack to cool for 3 minutes. Okay, you guys, so the biscuits are all done. So here they are. They're looking pretty good. She did a pretty good job there. And so they're nice and brown on the bottom. Look nice and good on the top. All right, so let's try one of these. We'll just take a piece off. I'm not going to put anything on it. I'm just going to try it plain and see how it tastes. It's pretty good. Tastes pretty much like a buttermilk biscuit. It's not too dry. It's nice and moist. A little bit crunchy on the outside. Nice and soft on the inside. Yeah, so that's good. And I do like this because you don't have to roll these out and cut them. You kind of just shape them into a ball and cook them. So that makes it a lot easier than what you would usually have to do for a buttermilk biscuit. So perfect. Okay, you guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Like and subscribe if you like, or don't if you don't. Everyone have a good day. Enjoy your cooking. Keep your kitchen messy, and we'll see you later. Bye.